Hey, hi, how are you? It's Crystal again. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Quiet down. Quiet down. Toot, 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 toot. Quiet down. Thank you. They won't stay quiet. They think I'm talking to them or the other animals, and as long as they think I'm talking, they'll say something. Why is my shoe out here again, Chip? Anyway, it's Monday. I'm gonna post this next Monday, which means the second week of you guys not getting 3 videos during the week. That's okay. We all know I try my best, because we all try our best. Anyway, I'm gonna do some baking today. I'm gonna make 2 loaves of bread, just white sandwich bread. I'm going to make a batch of dinner rolls. I'm going to make a batch of biscuits. Now, this one I haven't quite done before, and I'm a little out of breath because I've been running back and forth since I got up and after taking a shower, and it's a really low energy day for me. Like, I can already feel the energy draining out of me. So I'm going to get this first batch mixing. It's for the bread. It is what's going to take the longest. And then I'm going to mix myself up some carnation instant breakfast because I need to get something in my belly other than the cherry plum mixture that there's a hybrid that I really, really like, and I found it in a store by my sister, and I've been munching on them since I woke up, trying to get things done, but also putting food in my system. So I'm going to need something a little bit more substantial, but I don't want toast this morning. Anyway. So I put these 2 cups, because I'm making 2 different things that require yeast. 1 packet of yeast, teaspoon of sugar, and 1/4 cup of warm water. Instructions are on the packet. And cover them, and they've proofed a little longer than they needed to, but that's okay. It's for good fluffy bread. Could have used honey, and could use honey in this recipe specifically for anything, but I'm going to use sugar because it's just going to be easier. So that's the 1/4 cup water of the yeast, 1 1/2 or 1 3/4 cup. It needs to equal 2 cups of water by the end. 1 3/4 cup of warm water, and then leave the cat alone, please, Chip. 1/4 cup of sugar. Chip, pardon me. Oh, these animals. I'm telling you, Chip this morning, or this afternoon, is in an interesting mood. Proby has found a toy that he's wanting to guard, so Chip is trying to take it from him, and it's just, we're not playing that today. Anyway, you can use any type of salt you want. I'm going to finally take this piece out of this one because I took it out of my last one because I don't like them. Well, not in my salt. And this recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of salt. And then you could use butter, or you can use oil for this one. I've decided that because it's only requiring 2 tablespoons, oh my goodness, it won't come off. Anyway, it's only requiring 2 tablespoons. Come here. I'm going to just use my vegetable oil. You can use vegetable oil, coconut oil, olive oil. Probably could even use regular shortening if you really wanted to. Used to be I'd go through one of these things of oil in less than a month. Now I buy 2 of them, and it takes like, I don't know, 3-4 months. Bought this one over 2 months ago. Chip! Chip! Leave the neighbor alone! Hey! Oh my goodness! Leave the neighbor alone! Stop it! Thank you. Any hootie. The only thing left for this one, for the ingredients, is legitimately all-purpose flour or bread flour, and I do have both. 4 to 5.5 cups. You want your dough going to be sticky to the touch, but pulling away from the sides. I'm going to give this mixture a quick stir before I add the flour. Would help if I turn the power on. You're going to add your flour a little bit at a time because this one takes either. And what do I got going on here? Too much stuff is what I got going on here. I'll have to move that in a little while. Goodness gracious, gosh, oh gee. I'll lock this down so now I can't lift it up. I'm going to start with the all-purpose. I might continue with the all-purpose. The all-purpose might actually be used all day today. And you add a little bit in at a time and mix it. Once it's all incorporated and you can see what it's doing, go ahead and walk away, leave it on medium and walk away for 5 minutes. You may want to turn around and get yourself a rubber spatula and kind of scrape down the edges a little bit as you go. Because you don't want too much flour in here. You don't want a super stiff bread dough. It's not going to have the texture you want if you do. I mean, you can. It's up to you, but it's not going to be a consistency that you're technically used to. I'm going to go ahead and keep adding flour and pushing it down. You don't want to add it too much at a time. That was just a total of a cup I added. But I'm just going to go ahead and off camera keep adding flour and mixing and then run it for the 5 minutes, and I'll show you what to do after that so you guys don't have to watch all of this. That's done for the moment. As I know you guys can hear, I have the dishwasher running. You can't hear the washing machine, but I also have the washing machine running. And then I'm also working on some home improvement projects. I have laundry also to fold. I have a couple errands to run this afternoon. And that's part of the reason which I'm trying to get most of this done now. Because this one in specific is going to take 1.5 hours to 2 hours to double in size for the first proof. And then after it's been punched down, worked a little bit, and put in the bread pans, it's going to take like another hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending. It's kind of cool outside today, but my temperature in my house is always at 69 degrees. So it just depends on humidity, and it's been on and off raining for days. I'm going to switch you guys to a slightly different position so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to finish that quick home improvement project before I come back in to make the next batch, because I'm also going to have to rinse my mixing bowl and this. But since it's all bread, I don't have to like scrub it clean. I'll do a deep clean when I'm done with this. So I put a little bit of oil in the bottom of this. Again, just the vegetable oil, because this is a stickier dough. My wrist is not enjoying this, but it is getting better, and this is not past the limitations of what I can comfortably pick up. It's just hurting my wrist to be bending it, because my wrist has been stiff lately. Probably mostly due to the rain, or at least that's what I'm going to blame it on. Because see, it hurts less just to be supporting this, but I can feel my wrist and my hand shaking. Slowly but surely we'll get better. Don't add anything to this. No more flour, even if you think it's a little too sticky. No more oil. I'm going to actually, because oil in here is more than enough. Make sure it's not stuck to the sides, because I didn't oil the sides before I put it in here. And I'm literally going to flip it over, rinse the oil from my hand. I'm currently working with 3 dish towels. The one that I keep drying my hands off on. The one hanging on the front of my stove at the moment to make sure that everything's going to be, if this one gets too wet. And this one. I will have another one for the biscuits. Because what you want to do is cover your bed. Let it take a nap. This one's going to take a nap for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll be back in a little bit. Let me finish that project, and I'll show you the next batch of our next recipe, which is for dinner rolls. That's it. Alright, now for dinner rolls. Same thing we did with these before. My hook's in the wrong spot. Don't recommend you move a hook when it's in the air. It's not technically where it's supposed to move. This one calls for 1/3 of a cup and a teaspoon of sugar. The teaspoon of sugar is for the yeast, and the 1/3 of a cup is for your batter. A kitty kitty. That is Tookie. 1 egg. Egg. I hope you found the egg box.
I really like the egg box.
1 1/3 cup of warmed milk. You don't need to make it hot, just warm. Yeah, we have 9 eggs left at the moment. I hope you will need to get more eggs. 2 teaspoons of salt. I use the pink. And then Himalayan. And then 5 1/2. That's bread rising, baby. 5 1/2 tablespoons of softish butter. The rest of this I'm going to go ahead and put back in my refrigerator, because for the biscuits I'll be making later, I'll need cold butter. Oh, I'm sorry, I disrupted Tookie, baby. It's gonna get loud in here.
Tookie. I like the noise.
I'm gonna mix this a little bit. And then this one takes about the same amount of flour as the other one. Again, you're gonna mix this in slowly. A little bit at a time. And the reason your flour is going to vary is because different altitudes and different humidities are going to cause your dough to be different. So you could write a recipe for bread all day long, and your neighbor might be able to follow it exactly the same if you guys have pretty much the same household conditions, meaning your windows are all the same, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't, it could change. The same recipe I'm using right now could change tomorrow, because the humidity can change. And since you guys know this process, don't forget to scrape down your sides as you go. I'll be back when I'm ready to turn it out and tell you the next step for this one. This one's been about 5 minutes as well. that in here? What did I do with it? I thought I put it. I don't know what I did with it. Oh well. We have other spatulas. No, we're not going to use this itty bitty one. We'll use this one. Oh, I found it. I found one of the black one will work. Get the dough off. This one's slightly stickier. It gives you a recommended amount of flour. It also tells you that it may not be necessary to use it all. This is going to be a sticky-ish dough. Oh, we almost failed. Put oil in the bowl, and then to oil the bowl so it doesn't do what it does last time. Just roll it. Changed my wrap on my head. The white one that you saw is attached to a headband, and I don't like the way that they sit with the headband, and I have to run out. A couple little errands to run. May or may not get my nails done today. Might do them tomorrow. And legitimately, same exact thing we did with the other one. And since I have to run out real quick, if I have to return before getting my nails done to finish these off, I will. If not, if I think it's going to be just fine. Turn your dough over. Get the dough off your fingers. It is now stuck to your fingers because your fingers was not properly prepared to be dealing with dough. Did it fall? No, I put it over here. Do I have more? I do have more dish soap. I bought a big one. I can swap it out when that one empties. Okay, so just accidentally wiped my one ring right off my hand. What I'm going to do, this one, the one we just mixed, only needs to sit for about an hour to proof. The way these rolls turn out is kind of cute. And the one on the left needs to sit for another, like, 2 hours, the way it's looking. It's barely looked. So, since they both still have to proof, I have gotten a clean, entirely big towel. And I'm going to just set the entirely big towel with it being folded in 4 over my dough and let that sit. Let these proof. Tookie, honey, please don't pull down my curtain rod. I love you, but please don't. It will hurt you if you jump and hit that window. And this is still clean, so I'll probably just use it as a regular hand one. This one's sopping wet. It'll go in with my laundry. Yes, I just accidentally smacked you. I'm sorry. Normally I wouldn't go out with a pink bandana tied in this direction on my head, but today, I don't know what I did with, oh, it fell backwards. But today, because I feel like finishing my hair and I don't feel like taking the dryer to it, and my curls are not set yet, they're still wet, we're just going to go out like this. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. When I get back, I will finish rehanging my curtain rod. Give it like another couple hours after that because the dry decks that I put in the hole to help everything be secure won't be fully done for 5 hours. And then I'll put my curtain panels back on and that'll be fixed. They got yanked out of the wall because there was a bigger gap in the wall than it was supposed to be. And I knew I needed to have it fixed, but I didn't get it fixed right away. Anyway, 2.5 hours for the other one. Well, 2 to 2.5 hours. An hour for that one. And before dinner, I will be making biscuits. But right now I need to run to the store. I need to run to the gym. And we may or may not get our nails done. Alright guys, I will see you in a little while. Back from the couple errands that we ran. I have to sign us up online. So this one's actually doubled in size. That's the first one we did. And this one's risen for an hour. This is still clean. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to move some stuff on what we'll do. Like, I'll cover this while I work with this real quick. But we'll do I'll show you what to do for the, because I was only gone for about an hour. I'll show you what to do for the bread first. We've done this before here. It's a different recipe for bread. Same principles. So I'm just spraying my bread pans. Huh?
It's not like it's that one.
No, it's not. I like it. Thank you. So this is the one that's set and doubled in size that we did first. So this is the regular bread. And we've decided we're going to do nails on Wednesday. The outside of this one is really stretchy at the moment. This will work just fine. You're just going to split this dough roughly in half. Try to let, this one just kind of decided it was going to, but try to let your knife do most of the work for you instead of fighting with it. Does not have to be perfect. And because of how much oil I had put in the bowl with this, I do not need to do legitimately anything to the top of these at the moment, but I am going to go ahead and give them a quick drizzle of oil. Make sure that's not stuck on the side, because these are going to rise again. Washer is currently done, which means I don't have to worry about that as much. While we were out, I went to stop with the gym and the store. I grabbed Dunkin' because I needed it. It's not technically, I just needed caffeine. And Dunkin' sounded good, and Hope had just woken up herself. So, would you quit with your nonsense, And you just do a splash. Normally I would do butter. This was made with oil to begin with. And whatever oil is excess, I will get out of there in just a second. I'm going to show you how you do that. Because honestly, if I had olive oil, it would have been a lot smaller of a drizzle. Clean paper towel. and it'll soak up the extra. I don't need to worry about there being too much in my pan or on my bread at that point, and these will get brushed with butter right before they bake. You throw out your thing, but in the meantime, you throw stuff on the floor. No. That goes in there to be warm. In the meantime, you're going to cover both these back up until they double in size again before they go in the oven. You just keep getting switched with stuff. She doesn't want to smell your booty. She's been telling you that for days. For this one, I need to check the recipe. I haven't made this recipe before, so I need to check the recipe, and I'll be right back, and I need to put on for this one, and flour your surface. I'll have to get a baking pan out here in just a minute. But I'm going to use about half of this at first, and I'm going to rough do it. Just got flour all over my phone. Oh no, whatever will I do? I'll clean the phone, that's what I'll do. Floured it and rolled everything out on my counter, but that's okay. So then you're going to make it into a rough rectangle. You want to cut it into least, it said 6. Use a pizza roller or a sharp knife and do 6 strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's not quite enough for a strip, but that's okay. Some of these are wider, some of them are skinnier. It doesn't matter to me today. I'm going to take the ones in the center, and then it says legitimately just fold it like that. So, okay. And this hairstyle at the moment is another temporary hairstyle because I don't feel like fixing the back. But it was kind of wild when I took it down. And I sprayed some of my leave-in conditioner stuff that I use with my water when I'm reviving my hair. And I then called it a day for the moment. Close enough for government work. I don't feel like breaking that up. My knife's already dirty. And mostly these just looked interesting, so I figured I'll try them. I know how to make other dinner rolls. But why not? So technically you're supposed to get 12 out of here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 12. One of them was really, really, really huge, but that's fine. So it says, like it does with most baking things, especially with bread that needs to rise, cover in plastic wrap and let rise. And then get yourself a towel, or another kitchen towel, cover and let rise. Make sure you don't put any extra weight on these. Then clean up your kitchen. Blow off your phone. It's just down here at the bottom, it's fine. Clean up kitchen. Finish the other stuff you have to do for the next hour around your house, like switch laundry loads and whatnot. Come on back. When these are risen up, we'll bake them. And then I will probably go ahead and make the biscuits at that point. And I'm going to actually go and also use my nail brush and get under my nails. Okay, so we ran to the store because I needed more milk. And I wanted hash browns for tonight. And Hope needed some school clothes. So things have like over-risen at this point, which is fine. I had the bread a little too close together. Again, this is fine. I just melted some butter. Let go. Thank you. Tuck you into the side because I just pulled air out of you a little bit at the top. That's fine too. Tuck you on top. Let's throw a little butter on this. The recipes call for 350 on the bread loaves for 30 to 35 minutes and 375 on the supper rolls for like, I think it's at 11 to 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and throw them in at the same time on 350 when the oven is preheated enough. And they'll also get basted with butter when they're done. Here shortly, I'll go ahead and make up the biscuit dough, and I'll show you guys that. I'm just going to take the basting brush, just melted about a half stick of butter in a cup. And I'm just going to lightly brush it while it's not cooked, just to give it a good top. And then I'll brush them again when they come out of the oven. And I'm not gonna lie, because I'm probably gonna make the roast be food for the most part when it's time to have my potato soup in 2 days. I will probably add just a sprinkling of garlic powder and Italian seasoning on top. Or, you know, garlic powder and oregano. My dishwasher is done again. I'm going to change laundry loads and clean my bed and hang some curtains while this bakes. I did not use all of the butter, so therefore it'll be fine. I can throw those together. And these are going to go into the washing machine and be washed. So I'll see you guys in about 40 minutes because my oven needs to heat up. Have my laundry for the day folded. Rose came out. They Took about 20 minutes. I've had the bread in for about 35. Give me a minute, help me.
Never.
Oof, hot, hot.
I want to lick it.
So I'm going to baste them. And I'm going to try one of the rolls on here with you guys. And in a little while, no, this is butter. And then in a little while, I'll make the biscuits for supper tonight. Because we're going to eat a late supper, but we've had snacks. It's like a whole genre. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I already have one of these separated. But see, they're folded over. So that's kind of cool. And these are still hot.
Question mark? They're good.
They're very good. Even better with butter. I'm gonna go finish doing this. And I'll be back to make biscuits with you. That's a bad spot to put y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. That's better. So now we're going to make our biscuits. I forgot to see how much we have to set our oven on. So I'm going to start it at 350. And we'll just see when I go to check it. Because I haven't made this recipe. I'd make my great-grandmother's, but she used to say biscuits. Oh, I need an apron. She used to say biscuits are for tasting, not for looking. So didn't matter how ugly they turned out, they were going to taste good. And I know my hair's falling all over the place, but the whole reason I did any of it today was so that it had enough product in it to look right tomorrow. Because we're going to have to supper tomorrow night. So for this recipe, yeah, I'm having trouble tying my apron. You need 3 cups. And these are 1/4 cup scoops I got here. You need 3 cups of flour. Alright, so I checked the recipe. Oven says 450, so I changed that to 450. It needs 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 3 tablespoons of sugar, I'm using a 1/2 tablespoon measuring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 halves makes 3 wholes. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm leaving the 1/4 cup scoop out again because I'm going to have to flour my surface. Now, it also needs 1 egg, 1 cup of milk, and 3/4 cup of butter. All of that's going to be cold. I'm grabbing out my plastic one just because it was the easiest one to grab at the moment. All of these, because you don't want it to melt your butter, you want to be cold. Your egg and your milk, you want to be cold. Otherwise, it will melt your butter. And you don't want it to melt your butter because your butter is what's going to give it the flakiness in your biscuits. You always want to use cold butter when doing biscuits. Now, you can either chop up your butter really small and then use a pastry cutter or a pair of knives or pair of forks and cut it up in your flour. Take it up pea-sized pieces, or as quickly as possible, take your butter, take it on a cheese grater or a box grater. So I'm going to dump that in that cup. Buddy. Chip? I said no. It is a box. Get over your crap, sir. This is a good time to line your pan with parchment paper. If you don't, just grease your pan. You're going to notice I'm going to take 2 forks and cut into this anyway, instead of just trying to use a spoon. I'm going to take 1 fork, and I did my flour up the edges of the bowl on purpose to try and give myself a little bit of a well. Kind of got to spread that butter out a little bit. Do not use your hands. If you do, you're going to melt that butter. If you have to use your hands, use them as quickly as possible. Run them under cold water first if you can help it. This is not something you want to melt your butter with. It should melt while it's baking. I think I've already told you guys that. But anyway, biscuits aren't hard. My great-grandmother's recipe, and I probably misquoted her. Something about that. I know she said something about they don't have to be pretty to taste good. All my biscuits are always ugly, she used to say. And all my biscuits are always ugly too, until, yeah, I'm trying to do a pretty one. I know that the butter is basically worked through here, but we're going to go ahead and cut through it a little bit. Now, I am going to work it with my hands just enough to get the dough together. I'm going to take my cutting board that I used earlier right back out of my dishwasher because my dishwasher has been run. To get it all to a uniform thickness, or you can use your hands. Don't overwork it because, why? Because we don't want to melt that butter. But you do want to press it all together. And then you're going to get it to a decent thickness after you work in everything you're going to work in. And your oven's done. I'm making breakfast for supper tonight. Martin's on the way home, so we're going to have some awesome breakfast with some biscuits. You can make these super tall, you can make them super thin, make them however you want. They're your biscuits. I'm trying not to get my hands too messed up with this. According to this recipe, you can get between 9 and 12, however you want. What you're going to do is you're going to cut as many out of it as you can get at that point. And I am going to use this after I spray my pan, because I forgot. I can't remember how long it says to bake them either. I think it says like 10 minutes. I don't know. We'll look. Ha! Almost dropped garlic into the biscuits. Let's not do that. Making biscuits is supposed to be quick. Just like you're cutting cookies. I don't have a biscuit cutter. See that? 12. Now I've got to rearrange my pan just a little bit so that we can get all 12 on here. That last one's not going to work. I'm going to pop it in the oven and let you know how long it took. Straighten up a little bit and start cooking supper because I need to get the hash browns cooking here shortly, and I need to get the bacon started. And last thing will be done just as Martin walks in the door, which will be the eggs. Hi, Chippadoodles. See you guys in a little bit. It says to cook the biscuits for 10 to 15 minutes. But I wanted to show you guys the red, nummy, nummy, nummy. Look at these. Look at them. Those are the supper rolls. Hold on. My new tongs change color when they get hot. It's freaking epic. Found them on clearance at Walmart. A package with a spoon and a spatula for $5, and I needed rubber tongs or silicone tongs, either one. And I'm so excited that they change colors. And I'll show you guys a picture. I put them in for 4 minutes. I kind of know my oven at the moment. We'll see what it turns out like, and I'll show you guys. Alright guys, the 10 minutes was just right for my biscuits. I just finished my bacon. It's a little crispier than I normally make it, but it's a new pan, and I'm not used to it. My hair is falling. So here, look at how gorgeous they are. All of the recipes are down in the description. I'll see you guys Wednesday. I'm going to finish making dinner. Have a great day, great week. See you Wednesday. Bye-bye.